All right, what's up, guys? This week is gonna be literally only today and tomorrow. I'm going away this weekend, so I'm gonna try to not cram, but put enough into these 2 days of filming to make the video for Friday. But also, I want to just keep you guys in the loop with like the numbers and everything, and how much or how many people are signing up, how many people, like just that kind of thing. I think it makes sense for if it's kind of like a documentation thing. If you're following along, you kind of want to be included in the numbers too. So out of everybody, I'm going to try my best here, or try my best to not expose any emails here. But these are all, that's all of the, so 349 is all of the emails, or all of the users that we've invited. And then the people that have actually signed up, like they accepted their invite, that is 157. So like, I don't want to get too, and I already said this before, but I'm not going to get too kind of obsessed with these numbers, because it's like still such a beginning stage, and like I'm not expecting high retention right now. But I just thought that'd be kind of good to include, you know, like as we go, kind of like how many users are using it. We're still getting like anywhere between 3 to 5 waitlist signups a day, which isn't bad. But yeah, it's just kind of good to include, I think. So I think some people document things, even like if it's like a clothing brand or a Shopify, whatever they're doing, like, and they don't include like what milestones they're at. So it's almost like you're blindly following them, especially if they're working towards something. You don't really know what stage they're at. So yeah, just gonna throw that in there from now on, every so often. And believe it or not, I actually have a job interview today. It's been a really long time since I've done a job interview. I'm not super stressed out about it. Like I want to just, you know, kind of relax, go into it and talk. But funny enough, actually, one of the guys who watched these videos got me an interview. So it's kind of funny how that kind of worked out. But I'm only like slightly stressed out because since I'm mostly self-taught, like there's so many like terms or ways that people can describe things, and I won't know. It can be a basic thing, but I just won't know the term or how they described it. Like even talking to my friends who have done interviews, they'll tell me that like they'll be asking me some of the questions they got, and I'll be like confused, like what even is that? And they'll tell me, and it's like, oh, it's so obvious, like you know what it is, but just their terms they use I've never heard before. And it's like I kind of just learn things that I need to apply, like, and I know that it works. But like, for example, like if someone asked me anything about Express architecture, it's like, I don't know, like I know how to use it, but why would I go back and learn how it's built to then just use it instead of just putting that time into learning how to use it, you know? So I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of things in interviews, and like don't even get me started with LeetCode code questions. Like I think there's a lot of stuff with a lot of things in interviews that just aren't really relevant. I think there's a lot more to look for than just if someone can do LeetCode code questions, because I've never been, in all my years doing this, I've never been stuck on a problem that like the reason I'm stuck on that problem is because I'm not good at LeetCode code questions, you know? It's almost like, yeah, it proves your programmatic skills, but most of the time, like, I don't even really use intense kind of questions like that. Like, I feel like it's not even that relevant. I find it really depends nowadays, but I think interviews are hit or miss depending on how they're done. I had one that was probably the best interview I've ever had. I ended up getting the job because, given it was a co-op interview, so it wasn't that strict, but still, we got on a call, we all kind of talked, just a conversation. That's how they should be. And the first thing they just went through my resume, asked me about all the things that were on my resume, like my projects. Oh, what about this, whatever, and then branched off from that, kind of digging in deeper, and then you just explain what you worked on. It's like, I feel like that makes sense. If you have this experience, talk about the stuff you've done and you're passionate about, and then if they want to expand on it to get deeper into your knowledge and find out how you think they can do that easily, I'm gonna stop rambling. Anyways, I'll let you guys know how it goes. It's not until 4 p.m. so I've literally it's only 11 right now, so got 5 hours still before it. But yeah, expectations are low because, like I said, it's been a while. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, so it's the day after that, the last clip you saw there. I'm gonna make this quick because honestly I don't even really want to talk about it. So pretty much I'll give you some context on how the interview. So first of all, the interview was absolutely terrible, but I'm gonna give you some context leading up to it. I'm not like gonna make excuses, or I'm not gonna like talk bad about the company or whatever. But like, it was just from the beginning, it was set up for failure, and I knew it. I knew going into it before it happened. I was like, I knew exactly how it was going to play out, and it played out literally to the T of that. So basically, some context, I knew nothing about the job other than full stack developer. That was it. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give it a shot. What do I have to lose, right? There's nothing to lose. Then like no job description, like nothing. Like I knew literally didn't even know the company name. But I was just like, what do you have nothing to lose? May as well go and see what it's about. And keep in mind, I've never done any coding interviews, and you saw in the last clip how I feel about the code, like lead code and all that. But basically, it's like 2 hours before the interview, I get an email that was like, "What, Ryan? We have an interview. What's your salary expectation?" I'm thinking to myself, I haven't even talked to you guys. I don't even know anything about the company, and you want a salary expectation already? And I'm like, I don't want to dish out a number and then back myself in the corner. So I was like, oh well, oh yeah, looking forward to it. But is like I kind of hard to say a range. Can I know more about the role or responsibilities first? Like kind of implying, okay, well we'll wait till after the interview. And he's like, no interview, no salary, no interview. I'm like, okay, so then right there, I'm like, okay, this I don't even want to do this, but I'm like giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe it isn't so bad. I want to at least find out for sure. And then there's the company in his email footer. So I Googled it and I found the job posting, and like right away it's like the top in bold. This interview is very technical. Don't waste my time, or don't waste our time. You have to go above and beyond in this role, or else it might not be suited for you. Something like that. The first two lines, and if I saw that in the real world, like if I saw that job description, I wouldn't have even applied to it. I would be like, okay, forget it, because clearly you know what they're about, right? So anyways, after I deal with those emails, I just set a range, because I'm like, you know what, obviously this guy's not going to stop, so I'm like, I'll give a range. Then the guy who got me the interview messaged me and was like, the front end one got taken, but there's still a back end one, and I had to insist, that we still interview you. So basically, the reason I think why they were asking for the interview is because my resume is mostly front end stuff. So he had to kind of insist that they didn't even want to do the interview. That's or the top guys didn't even want to do the interview. That's the vibe I got. That's why he was asking for the salary, to kind of weed me out quickly, not waste time. And fair enough. But anyway, so we get to the interview, and I'm already have such bad vibes about it. I'm like, hey, I have no idea what to expect, no clue what this is going to be. It's an hour long. That's what was scheduled, an hour. So right away, everyone joins. There's three guys, one of them being the guy that got me the job, or the interview. And immediately, no introduction. Okay, I'm going to send some links in the chat. It's going to be right into, just right away, right into the technical question. And given, it honestly wasn't a hard question, but my mind just, went blank, because just everything, I don't know, just obviously nerves and all this was kind of building up, and everything went blank. So I'm talking about my thought process, and I'm just talking about what I think, and I don't even get in maybe a minute, 2 minutes of talking, and I'm talking, and then he cuts me off. He's like, no, don't talk, just write the syntax. I'm like, and then I caught me off guard, because everyone tells me you should talk about your thought process, because that's what they really care about. So I'm like, you don't want to hear my thought process? And then he's like, no, we gave you a problem, solve it. And then now I'm like, oh, what the hell? I was literally about to just leave right there, and I should have. But then now, you got to think about it. 3 people watching you code live. I already had bad vibes to start off. My brain's already blanking. Now it's blanking to the max. My thought process is a black screen. That's it. So I literally struggled for the last 6 minutes. The interview lasted 9 minutes. And then, but he said too, he's like, and if you're confused, ask. So, and I'm already like, bro, what am I doing right now? Who are these people? Honestly, I was just so thrown off. And then I just wanted to clarify, because obviously I was struggling. They could have easily seen I was struggling. So I was like, yeah, I just want to confirm, am I on the right track with, because there's 2 things you had to map over. I was like, which one I was starting with. And I just wanted to confirm it. And then right when I didn't even finish my sentence, he's like, okay, we're cutting the interview here. If you can't even do this. And then I was like, okay, no problem. And I just left. But dude, man, what an experience that was. I don't even, I'm happy it's done, and I'm happy I went to kind of get the closure, because if I just didn't show up, I would have been like, oh, well, what if? But now it's I'm happy, I dodged a bullet. On one end, yeah, I could have prepared more with knowing leak code. The question honestly wasn't hard at all, like looking back at it, but it's just like being put on the spot. If I was on my own, even if I couldn't Google anything, I would have figured it out on my own. But just like the pressure, I've never been in that situation before, and just the pressure of everyone watching you, plus the bad vibes before, like, I don't know. It is what it is, but it just goes to show you that interviewing is a skill in itself. And honestly, I think and obviously they were looking for somebody who is like, they don't care about, they didn't ask anything about the background. They didn't tell me anything about the job. They were just strictly right into code this thing. Here you go. And honestly, I wouldn't want to work for something like that, someone like that anyways. So, I mean, it is what it is. If anything, it made me appreciate my job more and won't make me want to just work harder. So I think that was like a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have went through something similar, let me know. I don't think anyone's done that bad though on an interview. That was 9 minutes. Tell me if you beat 9 minutes. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I know, I don't want to let it get to me. I have two options, right? Like, if you go through a bad interview, you do have two options. It's like, you can let it get to you and you can dwell over it and like let it hold you back, or you can just move on. Like, what it happened, accept it, and what's next, you know? And it's like, yeah, I understand. Like, I still have a lot to learn, but I don't know. I don't want to work for something like that where they're not even willing to like help me out at all. Like, it just seems like, I don't know. Clearly I wasn't qualified for the role. So I just going in blind like that, I don't know. But I also don't think LeetCode is a good way to interview either. Like, given it was an easy question, so I don't want to like put any blame on that. Like, that's already done. I definitely screwed it up. But just if it was like a harder LeetCode question, it doesn't make sense because you'd have to like spend so much time studying just LeetCode. I saw a comment that was on Reddit that was like, the best interview method would be to like have because it's more related to the real world, right? Where you get like a take-home assignment and then you come to the interview, and it doesn't have to be super long, because if it's super long, well, that's just a waste of time. Like if it's like 8 hours plus, like that makes no sense. But if it's like, a couple hours, whatever, do this take-home assignment, then you come to the interview and you just talk about your thought process and why you did certain things. Like, doing that, I think, would be way more constructive. It just seemed like they were just looking for somebody, for a robot. If you can be a robot or machine and work 60 hours a week and just get the result, that's all I cared about. So yeah, I don't know. But now I'm kind of focusing now on setting up Stripe and getting that all set up, because I'm gonna have to do it eventually. And so I just want to kind of get that out there. Like, I'm not even gonna really advertise, because there's no pro features yet, pretty much. So I just want to get it set up to at least have it, so then when we do get the features in, like the whole kind of infrastructure is there to handle it. I don't want to get too far and not have to like do it later. So that's what I'm looking into now, and I think it might be a little bit harder than I think, because I still don't know, actually. Like, I'm still trying to look into it because I haven't really set up Stripe in an app before. But since like I'm not using Express or anything, like I think there's a way to do it with Edge functions, but I still might need like a server. It would be so much easier if I just used Next.js for this, to be honest. But I think there's a way to do it with Edge functions, but I still have to figure out how Stripe all works, right? So that's going to be the plan for this week. I did finish to the individual assignment page. So now you can come in, click on the assignments, and then, you can rename whatever, upload your PDF, and then write descriptions. So yeah, you can throw like links in here, just like another spot to help you organize. Then yeah, you can add tasks to break down the assignment, schedule them on a day, and all that good stuff. So that's out now. And also the settings page is also done as well, where you can just change some things as well, or change some things about your account preferences, usage, your storage usage, and then eventually the subscription plans will be handled through there. I think for the rest of the week, like since I'm going away, like I probably won't finish the Stripe things. I'm gonna try to get a lot done tonight on it, but I still don't know how far I'll get to get it fully set up. But hopefully that would be a good goal to have by the end of the week. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Also, the other day, someone asked me, like, what are you passionate about? And I froze for a second, because like I think it's harder than you think to find what you're truly passionate about. But it just led to another thought, like, what is your why behind what you're doing, right? Like, I think, like, even just tying it back into web development, like, I really don't think, if you couldn't build your own ideas, your own things out and you could only work for what, like a web development company, if that's like the industry you're in, there was no such thing. Just eliminate that idea. You can't build your own things. If that didn't exist, I don't think I would do web development. And this might sound kind of cringe, but like if you took an artist and told them what to paint, they wouldn't enjoy it anymore, right? And I think it's kind of that, like I'm experiencing a similar thing, because don't get me wrong, I do enjoy coding things, but when when it's my own vision for things and when I'm actually like motivated behind it and I enjoy the process of doing that, but just coding for the sake of coding, I don't enjoy. And I think this interview kind of reconfirmed that, because I'm even noticing my motivation to even prepare for interviews is low, because it's like, okay, I could grind LeetCode, but I just don't want to because I don't enjoy it, right? And I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting, because I can spend a lot of time, or you can spend a lot of time in a field, and it's kind of weird to get to the real answer of why you do certain things. Like, why are you in the position you are in? Like, is it because you like it, or is it because you think you're supposed to like it, right? And I don't think anyone has to have it all figured out. No one really does at the end of the day. I think it's something that is kind of interesting to think about. Like, why do you truly do what you do? And do you actually like it? Like, do you actually genuinely like it? And if someone asked me that about coding, honestly, I like the whole process of it, as in like you're creating your own ideas and making them into tangible objects. That's what I like. Coding is just a subset of that. But coding specifically, honestly, like, if it's not if I don't see an end goal and I'm not using it, it's like a tool, right? If I'm not using it to get to something, I wouldn't enjoy just coding. Like, I enjoy the creation process, not the, I don't know. It's hard to explain. If you can relate to that, you might understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, it kind of dawned on me where it's like, what am I passionate about? It's probably not software. It's about like just building things. I don't know. It's like I said, it's not, no one has to have it all figured out. I think life's just a bunch of experiences where we're just finding what we like and what we don't like. But when someone asked me like, yeah, what's your passion? And I froze, I was like, why did I freeze? You know? And it's weird that I didn't even know how to answer that. And I don't want to say like I don't like coding. I don't want to say like I hate coding, because obviously if I did, I wouldn't do it. Like setting up the Stripe, for example, I'm really engaged into that. That's fun. Setting up the new AI stuff, that's fun. Even setting up the storage, getting that hooked up, as boring as setting up storage is, I found that fun, because you're learning new things. But it's like, for me, it's always been like this my whole life. I can have as much fun learning something if I really care about like the end goal, right? And I know it's good. If you have a job, you should care about the end goal, and you can. You absolutely can. Like I do. I care about doing a good job at work. But there's a limit on how much you can genuinely care, because at the end of the day, it's not yours. You don't really have the say. You're just kind of taking, like, almost like you're just taking requests and building it for them, right? So it's tough to find like the most enjoyment in that part of it, from my point of view. But I just wanted to clear that up, because I don't want to make it seem like I hate coding. I definitely don't, but it's like I just need to kind of care really like a lot about what I'm building. And if I can care really like a lot about what I'm actually putting my time into and stuff, then coding just becomes much more enjoyable. And that's probably common sense. Probably everyone who codes can relate to that. If you had to choose between coding something you were really interested in or coding a to-do list from scratch from a tutorial that you just follow along, like obviously you're gonna have more fun doing the bigger goal, more challenging, the more exciting thing, right? That's just human nature. But yeah, so I just wanted to clear that part up a bit. All right, I'm gonna end the video here, because I honestly have no idea how many clips I have, but I'm not even gonna get up to too much. Like I'm just gonna be packing, and then I'm pretty much gonna be leaving now, so there's not really gonna be much to update on. I don't know even tonight if I'll even get much done on the Stripe stuff. I'm gonna try. This is heavily inspired by Linear's pricing page, but this is the pricing page that I'm gonna try to do. It's gonna be in the settings. Still trying to figure out the best way to put it. I think this works fine though. Go to your settings to see it. But so I might try to build out some of that and at least try to get some of the Stripe stuff set up. But other than that, there's not gonna be too much to update on. And I wanna get these clips. I gotta wait for them, since I use my phone, I gotta wait for them to sync to iCloud, and then, which takes like hours for some reason. And then when they're finally on iCloud, I can download them on my computer and then edit them. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week.